one draft pick in that league, and we're excited to go over some strategy for it. So let's take a look at stuff. All right, so here's the deal. I was on Instagram last night, hanging out as I usually do. There's a lot of good fantasy football pages and content and stuff on there, so I'm on there pretty much all day, every day. And there's a page on there called Fantasy Football State of Mind, and they posted that they have a fantasy league starting up, a Dynasty league, and it was first come, first serve, and they have like 44.5 thousand followers or something. I was like, oop, this is going to be tough to get into. So I waited a little bit, talked to Kyle and said, hey, should we join this league together and manage a team together? And so by the time I messaged him to say we wanted to be part of the league, they were already full, but then someone backed out and it opened up a spot for us. It was fate. It was meant to be. So now we're in that Dynasty league, and we are pumped because we've been waiting for this for way too long, and the draft is coming up. What, next Friday? Saturday?
Friday
morning. It's starting Friday, so that's incredible. We're super excited for that, but that means strategy begins now. So
I'm really excited that the draft is so quick. It's so early. The only downside is that we're only going to have one round of the NFL draft down before we draft. And that will in effect like make it really difficult to predict rookies and draft.
Oh yeah,
because you don't know where they're going to end up after that first round.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's the only downside to such a quick draft. Saturday might have been better after second and third round go,
and that could always change. Maybe we ask him if we could push that back maybe one day, because that'll be tough. I mean, because running backs don't usually go first round, those are second, third round picks. So it's going to be hard to tell where a lot of these guys are landing at.
Yeah, you're basically drafting based off talent and not situation at that point, and that's tough.
Yeah, that means a lot of those rookies are going to go late in that draft because people aren't going to be taking those risks, I don't feel like. So anyways, me and Kyle decided to go in together on this. We will co-manage this team. This is a first for us. We're usually at each other's throats, playing against each other in these other leagues. And so I'm excited to co-manage a team together and see where that takes us. Usually 2 heads are better than 1. In this case, probably not. But
I don't know. I think they made a terrible mistake letting us into this league.
Here's
lose to us every year now. So
that's what earlier on Instagram I thank that guy for giving us a chance to beat him every year. So that's really nice. But anywho, yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Luckily, it should be guys that know what they're doing. They're really involved. There's a few of us on there that are making content for social media pages, things of that sort. So I'm excited to go through that. I'm not excited for them to be able to watch and see what we're doing, as with all of this stuff, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun to play with these guys. They'll know our strategies, whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, these guys are going to be smart. Outsmarting them is not really a thing anyway. So,
well, a lot of fantasy football players tend to be kind of paranoid anyways when it comes to trading and things of that nature. So them being able to get on and see us going through our reasoning and, our methods and stuff, they'll be able to see we're at least not trying to screw them over.
Right, right. But also, where was I going to go with that? Oh, speaking of trading, I mean, so that's what I'm excited about with this league too, is these guys are not scared because they know what they're doing. So I think trading opportunities are going to be there. I was already talking to one of the guys last night, and I don't know who this guy is, just total stranger. And we were already talking about, making trades during the draft and making trades during the season, because me and Kyle are very active on trades, and a lot of our leagues aren't. We're definitely the most active, I think, in every league that we're in. And so it'll be nice to be a part of a league that the other guys in there are also into that quite a bit. And so speaking of activities of trading and stuff, we actually in this league got the number 8 draft position is where we started out. So we weren't unhappy with that. I personally like having a late round pick in that first round, so that you get kind of a quick back to back. But then a couple of the guys mentioned that they wanted to trade back. The number 1 and number 2 pick both mentioned that they would rather just swap picks with somebody in the draft order because they didn't like where they landed in the draft. And so our minds immediately went to work. Kyle, where did your mind go on that?
My mind went to, kind of, and we talked about this last night at the time when we made the swap. It's like when you look at the talent pool out there and kind of where the drop offs are and stuff. Like, first of all, number 1, we get McCaffrey, and he's huge. And we'll take a look at the scoring system and stuff in here shortly. But based on the scoring system and just the type of player that he is, like, he is a huge advantage at that running back position. And then, we get down to 2021 on our second and third back-to-backs, and we can still grab a couple of stud receivers, which, again, as you'll see in the lineup requirements and stuff, like, receivers are going to be important. Receiver will be very, very important in this format, but McCaffrey is such a overwhelmingly better running back than anybody else. You still can't pass on him for a receiver at 1 overall.
Well, and I think it's important to mention that it's a tiered PPR, which we'll show you what that means here shortly. But with it being a PPR league, McCaffrey being a receiving back for the most part is a huge advantage as well. So he's not just that workhorse running back like a Derrick Henry or something. It just puts him a little over the top there.
Right. He's catching so many more passes than any other running back that gets that kind of workload. Because as you'll see in the scoring too, they get 1/10 of a point per carry, as well as that tiered PPR. Like, he's getting 30 carries a game and 5 to 10 catches. That's huge. That's a huge advantage.
Totally agree.
So, cool. I mean, you can't pass on him even, because most Dynasty formats tend to favor receivers because they last longer and they get hurt less and things, but he's just such a huge advantage. You can't pass on him at number 1.
Yeah. So for me in that, I look at the draft position a little bit different depending on the type of league. And I know I mentioned this to you, Kyle, before. In our Roll Tide league where we have 2 keepers, I actually prefer the late pick, that kind of back-to-back, that 9, 12, or that 10, 11. I actually prefer that because the draft pool is more shallow. We essentially have already done 2 rounds because there's 20 keepers total. We've already done 2 rounds before we even try. So you want those 2 picks as early as possible. In a total redraft like this, for the first year, right? So this first draft will be a total new draft. Now with moving up, we'll get 3 picks in the top 21 players.
Yeah.
Whereas before we would have had to wait. So to me, that's a huge advantage in a league like this. So that's what I was looking at, is the opportunity to have 3 picks in the top 21 instead of having to wait until later to get, another 2 quick ones. But there's a drop off. Let's see, we would have had 8, 13, and then we would have had to wait till 28,
yeah,
and then 33. So,
and if I remember right, the cutoff is somewhere around like 25. There's kind of a big drop off, so it would have been...
So we'll look at those rankings here in a second, but that's what I was looking at too, is that drop off in those rankings right around there. I thought if we moved up, we had a better shot at it. Now, these Dynasty rankings, I'd have to look at them again, but I'm not sure if they're actually including the rookies that are there yet or not. But either way, I feel like we made a good decision moving up in the draft. I would say half the league, the top half of those draft positions have all mentioned wanting to swap and move deeper in the draft because I think they're looking for that back to back, but that just doesn't fit my strategy right now.
Looks like, just glancing at
I'm
this
let me
Fantasy
let me
Pro.
get your screen up real quick, Kyle. Let's go through these rankings really quick that you're looking at here.
Yeah, I pulled up Fantasy Pros. It doesn't look like there's includes rookies
Okay.
just yet. Just kind of skimming through. I haven't seen any rookies. I'm down to number 80. So,
And
there's going to be some before that.
yeah, but jumping into the top 40, man, that rookie has to be in such a good spot to jump even into the top 40.
I have seen some rankings that I was looking at this morning that they do have rookies up there.
It's too early because you don't know what team
You
they're going
know.
to be on. I mean,
And that's what I was talking about when you start looking at like talent versus situation. Like some of these guys are just going to be so good that people are expecting them to be, good players no matter where they land. And that's probably fair for a couple of them, but so many of them are going to depend on situation.
absolutely.
I
Yep,
mean,
yep.
you can have the best running back in the class. If he gets drafted to Carolina, he's going to sit until McCaffrey retires.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
so it does depend, even with the talent to a degree. Now, they do have a rookie category over
Yeah,
here,
click on over there. Let's take a look at that.
but it
Yeah.
doesn't tell us, like, I'm going to get rid of this little thing. It's kind of in the way. It doesn't tell us I wish it would tell us kind of where they would rank in accordance with the overall. But I imagine they probably won't do that. But
I mean, I don't blame them. I don't blame them for not doing this. I think this is the safer way to do it, and I think that's smart. I mean, it's all a guess, so.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back over to the overall. Let's see kind of the situation we're in here. So obviously, we're going to take Christian McCaffrey number 1, and I know
this
that.
is us.
So the guy who's number 2 is actually the guy who started the league, the Fantasy Football State of Mind. Head over to his Instagram. He put out a poll to take. He doesn't know whether to take Barkley or Cook at number 2. So head on over there, give him a vote, and let him know what you think he should do at that number 2 overall pick. I personally think he should take a kicker. I think it's a good long-term move, but that's just me. I mean, kickers are the most durable. They last the longest.
That's another thing with this format. We don't have kickers.
Yeah. So that definitely. See, so his kicker's not going to get overused. He should definitely take Q.
Instant advantage because he'll be the only one with a kicker.
Perfect. Yep. Instant points. So, looking through this though, we're obviously taking McCaffrey number 1. Scroll down into like our 2021 range. Cool. So, seeing here, I mean, obviously some people are going to get skipped here. Like I don't know that Swift is going to go before 2021. J.K. Dobbins, like I don't know. I don't know what people's strategies are. Some people.
Thomas might go before. Yeah, some of these guys will go a little earlier, I think, based on our format.
Yeah, totally. I can see Calvin Ridley being gone by then.
I could see Ridley being gone. I hope not. But I could totally see him being gone. McLaurin's one that I wouldn't mind. See, they got Eckler really low, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Even Joe Mixon being that low to me is just
like when you think about even with a wide receiver heavy format like we have, and there's 2 flexes, so we can still play 2 more running backs also.
Right.
But like we're gonna have McCaffrey number 1. It's a PPR and wide receiver, triple wide receiver lineup. Let me click on this real quick so I could show everybody kind of the lineup situation. So 2 running backs, 3 receivers, tight end, 2 flexes. So, it's a wide receiver heavy and with the PPR and all of that. So some of these receivers will go a lot earlier. So we'll end up at like 2021. We might have a shot. A lot of these receivers might be gone, but we might have a shot at like Cam Akers,
Zeke,
Eckler, Mixon, Antonio Gibson, who I like a lot. guys like that we maybe wouldn't have a shot at in like a standard scoring league or one that just played two receivers and a flex, kind of the normal
Mm-hmm.
um, lineup situation. So that's where we'll have to make. And see, these guys have the Kelsey and Kittle earlier than some of the other ones I've seen.
Well,
Also,
Kelsey's a little bit older, so I'm kind of surprised
yeah, everybody,
he's up there.
almost everybody has Kittle over Kelsey in Dynasty just based on his age.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Some
but
even have Waller, maybe even because I mean, just that age is a huge thing in Dynasty.
yeah, but Kelsey stays healthy better than anybody else too. So
True.
it's there's a trade off, right?
True.
And he's what 30, so he's got probably a good 3-4 more years left. Anyways, that's not
Yeah.
terrible for
Not
Dynasty.
horrible.
But where we'll have our decision at 2021 is, do we need to grab like the top two receivers available? Is the value not there because so many receivers go? Do we grab like Eckler and Cam Akers just because they're there and they're worth it?
Right.
So that'll be real interesting to see kind of what happens in that second round, especially. I think the first round will kind of go the way we expect. I think this will be right here. You're looking at these guys, I think will be exactly, maybe not in this order, but who goes in that first round.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. Let's scroll down to where we're going to be looking at for our next picks after that. We're going to be in the 40-41 range.
So 40-41. Again, you're looking at, I don't think Eckler will fall that far. I don't think he'll get skipped over enough for that.
No, I don't think so either.
Keenan Allen, there's no shot he makes it this far. But if we could sneak in there and grab a Brandon Ayuk,
yeah, or even a James Robinson, like
even like if we end up with like Eckler and Cam Akers at 2021, McCaffrey can't. If we jump down here and we grab like Ayuk and Robert Woods,
yeah, sign me up for that.
With them as my top two receivers,
Yep.
So it's like you said, it'll be real interesting to kind of see what happens in that second round and what kind of run on receivers we see.
Yeah, I agree. Man, I like the wide receivers down in this area. Like I was looking at the same ones. I was looking at Ayuk. I was looking at Claypool. Robert Woods. I like Claypool.
Chark.
Now don't get me wrong. I like Cortland Sutton, but I don't like his quarterback situation. I don't think that's changing anytime soon. So
I think they might be drafting somebody come Thursday. We'll see.
We'll see. If that's the case, then I don't mind that pick either. I think that's some good talent there. But like you get down here, and I understand that this is a dynasty league, but once we've snagged like all the way down to pick 40, right? So now we've got 4 good dynasty picks. Now at 41, we can be looking at what's going to help us this season. So you got Julio. Yeah, so you got Julio. Guys, I'm not down on Odell Beckham. I mean, that's talent, and he's got a quarterback. I think he's getting there. He was hurt. Whatever. That's just me.
Thielen? Look how far down I got him.
Like these guys are going to be down here. I like these picks. And, I mean, man, yeah, I think after you have a first few really good picks for your dynasty team, now you can start to look in like, what's going to help me now?
You need about 3 or 4 like solid cornerstone guys for the future. And then, I need to win now with the rest.
But because look, down here at number 60 is Chris Carson. Are you kidding me? Sign me up for that.
Yeah, no kidding.
That late, like, dude, all day. I will take that. And then eventually throughout the season, maybe your season isn't going good. Maybe that strategy didn't pay off. This is a dynasty league. You trade off a couple of those guys to your top players for that season. Maybe you're trading off a Chris Carson and Julio Jones to pick up, someone higher up here on your dynasty rankings. Maybe you're trading both of them off for a Calvin Ridley or something like that. So they get 2 solid players to try to win the ship this year. And then you're getting a huge piece back for your dynasty team overall. So there's some strategy there throughout the season where you can gain more big time dynasty value players based off of whoever's in the championship run.
Absolutely. And Dynasty is all about, we have a really large, if you look at this, look how deep our bench is.
It's 16 bench players, right?
I think that's right.
I mean, that's ridiculous. I love it. And
So,
2 IR spots. So
yeah. So basically, the point of Dynasty is you're going to have guys that you draft way down here. Okay, so here's some of the rookies on the overall. They're just really
they put them way down there. That's fair.
It's fair until we know where they're going, right? So, but this format is with such a deep bench. That's when you're just throwing guys at the end of it, just in case they get a chance to help you during a season. Someone in front of them gets hurt, some rookie that might take over for a starter during the year.
Yep.
Because he's playing better. The guys that do well in preseason and camp and everybody's high on, you see them every year. The camp sweethearts that come out and just like that year Victor Cruz went off in the preseason and then had a hell of a year, during the regular season, just kind of come out of nowhere. So this is the area where you're throwing darts and putting them at the end of your bench based on talent and hoping they get a shot.
Yep. You can afford to do that a little bit more.
That's where you throw your young guys in.
Right.
Your really young guys, you're just throwing on the end of your bench and hoping they help you eventually.
Yeah.
Ideally, coming out of this draft, I would like to have McCaffrey, and then 2021, I'd like to get a pair of solid receivers.
Yep.
Like, I don't know, Ridley McLaurin, Lamb McLaurin, something like that, I would be tickled with.
Now, I keep seeing this, like number 24, Patrick Mahomes, right? Like, I understand that he's young, he's solid. And I know we were kind of chatting about this last night about the quarterback situation. We tend to not value quarterbacks as much anyway, you and I, just in drafts. But even in Dynasty here, we were just looking at these, and we both at the same time text each other of, I'd be happy with anyone in that top 10.
Yep.
Absolutely any of them. And if we're looking even more past dynasty value and what's just going to help us this year, I would go even further than that. I think Matt Stafford's going to have a good year. I think Jalen Hurts, if he gets time, I mean, he puts up good fantasy points. I think Matt Ryan, all the way down at the number 7 quarterback, is going to be huge this year. So I think there's value for this year. And then next year, we can pick up another. I mean, or we pick up like a Trevor Lawrence late in the draft or something, and then we already have our quarterback for the future. But this list makes me think I am not jumping for a quarterback early at all, because I'm holding off. I'd be happy with any of those top 10. We'll grab one, and before someone starts grabbing their second quarterback, unless, and some people do this, they grab backup quarterbacks before they have all their wide receivers, which is really stupid. I'm not getting Deshaun Watson.
I don't think I want Deshaun Watson, but I'd replace him with probably Stafford or Hurts.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about the quarterback situation. I think we hold off late into the draft for that. I think we'll end up feeling these other guys are going to be thinking the same. Now, on the scoring, Kyle, you said that the quarterback a passing touchdown is only worth 5, correct?
Yes. Let me find.
Yeah, I don't know where to find the rules.
I don't know where to find it on the desktop version. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah. If you hover over on the left where the post 2021 NFL draft is, does that give you anything to click on?
No.
It does not. Weird. Yeah, I'm not sure where it's
at. It has
at.
to be here, maybe.
No, that's your team.
No. All right.
Silly. Oh, just scroll down. Just scroll down below the
quarterbacks than most leagues, but less than what we're used to. So,
Yeah.
but then, like we were talking about with the rush attempts, you get a tenth of a point per rush attempt, so that makes running quarterbacks a little more valuable that way.
Yeah.
Also,
I also see that the pass intercepted is only a -1 point instead of -2, like all the other leagues we're in.
hmm
That's interesting.
yeah. Here's that tiered PPR that we were talking about.
Yeah. That's what I like. Yeah. I mean, those reception bonuses.
It really values deep threat receivers
Well,
and,
not
and
necessarily
big play receivers.
big play. I was going to say you get Christian McCaffrey out there catching something in the open and going for 30 yards,
Oh
even
yeah,
though
he
he
does, and
caught
he
it
does it
behind the
all
line
the
of
time.
scrimmage.
Yeah, and he does that all the time.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and then everything else is pretty standard scrolling through here.
Well, that's interesting that there's special teams. Like look at that, field goals made, blah blah blah, but there's no kicker on the roster. Same with defense, so they have all the scoring, but they're not on the roster. So ignore those.
I think it's defaulted to have
Yeah,
this
yeah.
part of
Just
it.
letting people know to see that. But you can see the chat over there on the right, within the
Mhm.
league. So you'll see where people were looking to move down in the draft from their picks, that number 2 spot and everything.
Yeah.
And then all the way down there at the bottom, you can see that people even like at pick number 4 and 5 are looking to get back more in the 7 to 10 range, things of that sort.
Yeah,
So
5 here, 4 here. So yeah, everybody wants to be at the end. And my thinking on that I mentioned earlier, I think everybody's thinking, being the dynasty format, they want to get down towards the end of the round and get 2 like top stud receivers.
yeah,
Whereas we'll have McCaffrey and we can still get 2 pretty good receivers, but their third, fourth are not going to be as high quality as our second, third is going to be.
yeah.
So I don't think for them it was smart necessarily to make that move. But we'll see. Maybe they know something we don't.
Maybe. I don't know. I think it's just a different strategy. I mean, I like what we're looking at here. I like looking at those rankings, and we made the decision before even looking at the rankings, honestly, because we kind of had it in our heads. We were actually playing Rocket League on PlayStation when all of this was going down. I was messaging and trying to get in this and trying to pay my league dues and everything before, like in between matches and stuff, or in between points. I was trying to communicate with them and get this going. So we weren't looking at rankings or anything, that trying to make these decisions. I was swapping the draft picks just through us kind of quickly discussing like, hey, I think I like this strategy, blah, blah, blah. And of course, me and Kyle were thinking alike. We were on the same page there, as we typically do, because I learned to play from Kyle and we discuss things all the time. And so we kind of think alike already.
Yeah. Oh,
and so, I mean, I wouldn't have been disappointed. We could have had a winning strategy either way. They have their pros and cons, but I feel like this is the best way for us to go. Plus, how cool that we're going to have the inaugural pick, number 1 overall pick of this entire league as it starts up for however many years that it goes on. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's kind of cool too. And yeah, I'm excited to get this going for sure.
Oh yeah, I am too. It's going to be so much fun. Like you say, everybody's already on there talking about wanting to make trades and stuff like that. So it's going to be very interesting. We'll take detailed notes. It's going to be hard during the day to stream the draft for you guys, but we'll take detailed notes and we'll do a stream after it's over and kind of run you guys through what all happened, any trades that went down, things like that.
Maybe. So here's the thing: we have to clarify how the draft is actually going down. He has it set for 10 a.m. on Friday, but when he was advertising for it, he said long draft starts on Friday. So the dynasty leagues that we've always done, what we're going to start another dynasty league maybe next week or something like that. It has a long draft. Those drafts would last sometimes a month because people would have 12 hours per pick, Kyle? Something like that.
Yeah, they last forever. I'd have to go in and manually add everybody and stuff. Like, it was insanity.
It was crazy, but it was a lot of fun because when it comes your turn, people start, wanting to trade you, and sometimes they'll trade you players and certain picks and stuff. So you have a lot of time to make moves and do the strategy. So if that's the case, then we will have time to maybe stream, show our strategies, show what trades are coming in and what we're looking at and stuff. So we'll double check in on that and everything. If it ends up being a quick draft on Friday, I'm going to take off work, so I'll be able to stream whatever. So that's
I'll be working at home, so I'll be able to. I might not be able to stream, but I'll be able to draft.
Yeah. So we'll be good to go there. We will figure that out for you guys, and because I want you guys to see our strategy throughout the draft, kind of see what everyone's strategy is, see how that's going. So, that's what our channel is. We want you guys to see all that. It's us playing the game. So that's the content we want to bring you. And now that it's all kind of getting started, we can finally start bringing you the content that we want to bring you. Like me and Kyle sitting here going through strategy of what trades and moves and waiver wires and stuff we want to pick up. So, that's what we're looking forward to. That's why we're excited about this. And I know I just kind of mentioned it, but we'll be starting our own Dynasty League next week, maybe. Kyle, where are we sitting on that?
I'm still trying to get people to join up. We're waiting to hear back from one of your friends, and now I need to reach out to a couple others on my end.
So we have 3 spots available?
Yeah, we have 7 confirmed. We need 3 more. So
is that a money league? That's not a money league, right? That's just a
that's that's bragging rights only. I may get like a medal made up and sent to the champ each year. Just for something to play for, something that's easy to mail because we have people from all over the country. Right. So I may try to do something like that.
Perfect.
For the winners, but it's not a buy-in money league. No.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds fun.
Or instead of a medal, if I might just out of my own pocket just pay the winner like $50 a year or something.
No, I like the medal better, honestly. So. Of the championships,
trophy, medal, something like that's more important to people generally.
It is. Yeah. I mean, this year I won 2 money leagues this year, and I cared more about the trophies than I did the actual money. It's just bragging rights. It's something to hang on to. It's something to have. So, because if we did $50, who cares? A trophy, awesome. There's just something about it that's
to hold on to that the whole year, right?
And then your name gets on the trophy for however long it exists, and so that's amazing. Fantasy football, weird thing, right? We play DraftKings for money. That's what that is. So, anyways, we're going from 0 Dynasty leagues to now we'll be in 2 Dynasty leagues, and we're excited. We're excited to bring that to you. Also, we're running those Dynasty leagues. This one is in Sleeper. The one we're building, we're going to do in the Sleeper app as well. We used to run it in ESPN, but Sleeper app just looks built better for those long drafts. You can set each draft pick to be up to, what did you say, Kyle, like 48 hours or something silly?
24.
Oh, 24 hours. So that's built into it, probably with that in mind, which was really smart for them. I think the max you can do on ESPN is 4 minutes or something, Kyle? It's something short.
I think it's 3 minutes.
Oh, 3 minutes. So it's just not built for that. Sleeper app is. It's built for Dynasty. So I'm excited to be able to do that. I'm sure you're excited to not have to manage that draft quite so much.
Well, yeah, because we had to keep track manually of the time and then it was like, okay, go post your pick in the message board. Well, it got to where like the last 2 years I did it, 8 out of 10 in the league would just text me their pick and I'd have to go post it and then go add the player. And then like we had this big like list on the message board or on the homepage with all the draft picks listed out and stuff. Like it was a pain.
and then like people would have to go post their trades, and then we would have to go in and manually like move people around and try to keep track of it. It was a mess. Kyle, what's this on your screen? You want me to show that real quick?
That was just something I was going to talk to you about after. We had talked about in Roll Tide. This is last year's Roll Tide draft results. And so you had mentioned, what made me think of this, you had mentioned that we would still be able to come up with a winning strategy, even if we stayed at 8 or no matter
Right.
where we were. So I ended up third in Roll Tide. But as you can see here, here's my draft results. But as you can see, I traded this pick before the draft. So all the ones like that I traded before. So Austin actually got Johnson. Ben actually got Taylor. And Ben also got Breeze. And then I got this pick from you and got A.J. Brown. So my starting roster last year was McCaffrey, Lamar, A.J. Brown, Robert Woods, Cam Akers, Ronald Jones, Hayden Hurst, Sterling Shepard, and I still end up third. All right. So, and that's based solely off of trades and waiver wire because I got James Robinson almost right after the draft off the waiver wire. And that was kind of my launching point for any trades that I made through the year.
Yep.
So it just goes to show that if you are diligent and you pay attention and things, it really doesn't matter where you draft from or who you end up with after the draft. You can still make a run because there's also a little bit of luck there involved. Aside from, your trading and your waiver wire, is who do you play each week? If you play the lowest scorer every week, just out of luck of the draw, you might get lucky and make playoffs and have no business being there.
Yeah.
What
did so I did pick at number 8 right there. What does my number 8 draft look like?
All right. So your keepers were Zeke and Henry.
Mm-hmm.
And then Austin got Godwin. Ben got Evans. I had Brown.
Gosh, I didn't have a first, second, or third. No, I did. Where did I pick them?
I'm trying to find.
Here's Mark Andrews there on Ben.
Andrews.
And then Adam Thielen is Austin on 4th over there.
Oh, yeah. See, yours are gray. Mine are black, so it pops out easier for me. But for you, I had to find the gray, so it's a little tougher. But, yeah, so you had Thielen and Andrews.
But I didn't have a first-round pick, so I did not have a first-round pick.
A first-rounder, right.
And I still won the championship.
Right.
Because of trades.
Trades did it for me. You drafted better than me, too, because, like you said, you still had more picks than me, but then you went Montgomery. Oh, Ben got Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Gronk, Ryan, Peterson, Edmonds, Newton, who started out well.
Yeah, a lot of these guys started off well.
Your team was pretty rough right off the bat, too.
Well, I had Newton and Thielen and David Montgomery. Those guys doing good right off the bat gave me fantastic trade value, and I traded them. I traded high, and that ended up paying off for me. So that's why. Is those guys performed well at the beginning of the season. I traded them, got good value out of them, and it worked out. Well, not Adam Thielen. I actually traded him very late. So,
yeah.
But
because he got hurt, came back, and then performed a few times, and then you.
Yeah, I got the heck out of Dodge because he had a bad playoff schedule. So, cool. Alrighty, man. We're almost up to 40 minutes, but I'm excited about this. Let's go ahead and get off of here. I could talk all day, which is dangerous, and people don't want to listen to me that much. So I'm thinking I'm going to get off here and go play some Rocket League on PlayStation because that is our other game of choice. Well, that and Call of Duty, but
that's our cool down game, huh?
Yeah. We get mad at Call of Duty and go play that. We still get mad with Rocket League, but not as mad.
Not quite as bad.
Yeah. So anyways, we can go have some fun on PlayStation. Kyle, if you want to join me, come on with it.
I think I will. And I guess we'll see all you guys tonight for part 2 of the Corey Worked for the Tiger King series.
Yes, sir. Let's talk about some Joe Exotic. All right, guys. We'll holler at you later.
See you next time.